Welcome back to Story Deep Dive with Rachel and Dana. This is a podcast where two editors, book coaches, and besties discuss books not as readers but as writers to draw inspiration from great books and have plenty of laughs along the way and get our shenanigans on every now and again. So today we are continuing our best of series. So for the month of December, we are looking back at all of the books, all 11 books we've read over the course of 2025 and picking our favorites. So last week we did best of, picking our top two of plot, top two sort of book picks for plot. We struggled mightily to just pick two, and I suspect we will run into the exact same problem this week with picking our top two for the year for like characters. And luckily, I'm off the hook for at least a second because I get to kick it over to you, Dana, to start with. Tell me about your first top two pick for characters for books this year.
Okay, this was so hard. This was so hard.
We had a lot of really great casts this year.
Okay, so my first pick is Galen. You know I had to pick
you picked actual characters?
That's what we said.
I picked
That's
books.
A character.
I picked books that had the best characters.
Oh!
I ranked it by just the book.
Girl, that's cheating. You cheated, because that means you're getting cheated. No, she cheating.
Oh,
no,
damn.
character, singular. But it's okay. Go ahead.
That's not.
It's okay.
This is not what we agreed to. Dang it. Well, that's okay. I'll. That's fine. I'm ready. I'm ready.
Well, listen, because I have shenanigans waiting for you, so you don't worry about it at all.
Okay, so talk to me about Galen.
First of all, he is one of my favorite male protagonists of all time. You do not get any better than the Black Daniel in Indigo. You just don't. I just feel like, first of all, like I can't have to keep saying this is one of my favorite stories of all time because it is my favorite top book ever. And I just feel like, having it being this strong Black man and just having roots in both Creole culture and sort of being affluent for that time, but then also being an abolitionist and also helping with Underground Railroad and having that experience as a part of our reading experience to go for something like Ninth House. And then, now we are in the midst of, slavery in the United States. Like, it just shows what reading can do. And I just feel like she just made him to be both equally strong and also very vulnerable in having a strong ethos, like just who he was and what he was willing to do. But then at the same time, we got to see the softness in him and what he was willing to do. And listen, the man that's about to go in there and take anybody down, girl, when he tossed those coins down, like, let her out, and he just be like, you know what, talk that stuff. So he's just one of those ones that I always love to look at whenever you think of things like an alpha male character. And a lot of times nowadays, that alpha male character sometimes gets equally done with arrogant or cocky. And he just had a way of just being smooth and just having swag. Swag on top of swag.
Self-assured without being like an alpha hole, as they say.
Exactly. And probably could have in some ways, like if it wouldn't have been that his intentions were so well-meaning. And I also feel like, having a very strong male Black character lead, he held his own. The world that Beverly Jenkins built, like Miss Beverly she always does her thing, but that's just one that it just stays with you. He just stays with you. And so, I could not get away from it. So if you are late to the party, welcome. But you can always go back. I think it was early on, but it was Indigo by Beverly Jenkins. And so, yes, Galen, Vachon, I can't say his name, Vachon. He's French. We're just going to let it be where it is. But he's my favorite. I only
married into Frenchness, so I don't have any more idea than you do.
First of all, you already know. That's why I just got to say the Black Daniel. I can get that right. And it was just such a great pairing, him and Hester. Like, it just shows what can happen to a good story, turning it great by having your characters just locked in. And so definitely. So Galen is my top pick. So your turn, Miss. I pick books.
I did, man. Geez. Well, because like we picked plot, like for plot, we picked books. And so I thought for characters, we were going to pick like best cast of characters for books. So I'm going to give you the book and then why, but then I'll also pick a character.
Okay.
Since this is apparently the game. So my first pick is for me The Things We Never Got Over. I thought like, cause this was, before the podcast, I read this book for the first time, actually read it, so start to finish. The Knock 'Em Out series has some of the most memorable characters that I've read in a book that have stayed distinct in my mind. Like, I feel like the characters of Knock 'Em Out, like, after I read those books, they just live there now, right? Like, they're so, they're sticky in that way, right? Where they're just very, very distinct, and Knock 'Em Out feels like a distinct place. And honestly, this one for me almost could even have qualified as a potential plot pick because of how well managed the plot was and how effectively done the contemporary romance plot was done with the, like, all of the plot points with the internal arc, especially. But I just think that, the way that she handled Naomi Witt's internal arc and, like, folding that into and playing that off of Knox Morgan's arc and using, again, the situations in the story to not just to evoke that change, but also to watch the way that the characters behave affecting the way that the story unfolds, right? So again, it doesn't feel like they're walking through a script. They feel like real people making real choices that shape the world around them and bump into each other and affect one another and affect the way the story unfolds. And that book for me this year was a real standout. I was impressed how much I enjoyed it and how much like it really like stuck with me as a story. So if I had to pick a character, then I'm going to pick Knox Morgan because I love a grump. I love just a grumpy dude. I'm here for it, which is hilarious because like Trevor is not a grump by any means. Like my husband is not a grumpy man. He was when we met though. He was very much like this is like a little bit more like mysterious, and he sort of like would jokingly call himself like a misanthrope, and he's like, I don't like people, I like my books. And I was like, yeah. So he's not a grump anymore, but like I feel like Knox Morgan could be like if you took Trevor when I met him and then, made him be that way for whatever. Knox is in his late 30s, I think, when we meet him, or middle 30s. So for like 15 years, like stayed on that trajectory, you would have like grumpy Knox Morgan. Anyway, so Knox Morgan is probably one of my favorite main male leads of main male leads. I think that he is so funny and so wonderfully off-putting. I love it. I live for it.
And the fact that he keeps that same disposition, I think that is what I love about him. The fact that all the way through to the end, he is still a grump. He loves her to death. And he will get it on you if you're bothering her, but he is still a grump, and I love that about him.
Oh, it makes him so much more endearing, right? Because he's like, he loves her, and he's still a grump, and the way that she managed to negotiate both of those things, because like when you meet him in the I'm thinking particularly of the things we the things we left behind, the third one. With Sloane and Lucian.
Yeah.
There's a scene where they go to see Naomi and Knox for dinner. And like just specifically, he says something like, Now, if you, like, I would rather you weren't here in the first place. I
Right.
want to have you over for dinner. I want to make out with my wife. But because you're here, if you make my wife cry, I'm going to kill you. Like, it's really, and it's like, it's the most endearing, most wonderful thing. So yeah, the fact that he is like grumpy, but he changes deeply, but is still very much himself, it just makes you like him even more. I'm a big Knox Morgan fan.
The fact that you are saying that, so I absolutely love it. First of all, like, there's that series in general, so I get why you want to pick a book, can do no wrong.
Yeah.
It's just a great book. It's just, yeah, absolutely. Let's see. Okay. So this is where I low-key cheated, because I had 2 on here, so I ain't gonna lie. So I don't think you're gonna like this, but it is still one of my favorites, which is Lynn Black.
Oh
I love Lynn Black. He is one of my favorite characters ever. Y'all, Rachel, I think Rachel understands, but Rachel does not understand. There is something, I think it's probably the way that she wrote him that I just like a grumpy, mysterious, very just, and then when you get underneath why he's that way, even though there were some parts where I felt like, okay, she did a little bit too much. It's okay. We forgive you. We listen and don't judge.
Meanwhile, Rachel is over here listening and judging.
Judging. She got her judging face on. So I just love Lynn Black. I love Lynn Black. I love the story. I think just going for the light-esque type of feel works for the story. I think there are times where I would have loved it to go somewhere else, but I think just for what it is a story that you can enjoy again and again, just because I think they're just a very interesting opposites attract sort of story, to be opposites, but then have the things that make them uniquely who they are be so much alike. And I think there's just something about that when you are talking about creating characters that stay with us, that is just, I'm a character person. I just love it. I just love her and the country stories and almost getting shot, and him, but except I didn't get shot. Like, all of those moments that just give something that could slide into darkness a little, the humor, just, it's like you slide in and then she pulls you out with the humor. So it just made for a lot while still having moments that go there in the story. And so, yes, Lynn Black, hands down, not going to change it, period.
So just having a mystery, like, you really like a mystery man.
I like what
it helps
that
if he has
is
an Irish accent.
Well, first of all, I can't stand you. Yo, she ain't no good. Don't let her. Don't let the innocent face with the misborn sweater fool you. The Irish. First of all, I love. Y'all can't stand Rachel. Okay. I love the narration. I just feel like I like when there's somebody that's mysterious and they manage to keep that mystery, but also pull it off without it feeling like, I am man, hear me roar, thump, 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 like that. Mm-hmm. And I think because she made his backstory so traumatic, it had this sort of contrast that almost made you even more, without feeling like sorry for him, but at the same time giving him this extra oomph that made you feel like, oh wow, because that's when you get to this point of where it's having both empathy, but also when you as a person reading it know that what they're doing is wrong, but you start almost having justifications. Yeah. There's something about that character. And there's something that was done right. And if you start feeling that as a writer and you're looking at it and it's something that you want to learn from, I would lean into like, what is it? like being able to really put your finger on it. And I think that is, Lynn Black is one of those characters for me. He just is.
I love it. I love that for you. Is this the shenanigans? Is this the shenanigans? Okay, okay.
It is the shenanigans.
I was like, wait, am I waiting for more shenanigans?
Doing too much over there. So that is. And then after you do yours, I do have an honorable mention.
Oh, I'm excited. Okay,
so you're second.
So I don't know how you're gonna feel about this. But so again, I picked a book, but I've actually did specifically mention a character in it. But my second pick for characters was the Whistleblower. Guys, if you were not watching the video, and I don't even know, because like the video might, because I'm the one talking, so it's probably on my face. You should have seen Dana's face. She went,
"Oh my god."
She gave me such a sassy look. Now I feel like I gave as good as I got by picking the Whistleblower.
Rachel tried to kill me with that book. Rachel tried to kill me. I was doubting our friendship. I was wondering, what have I done in this life? Not just playing. But I did end up loving it. I did end up loving it.
This is a book that like 2 years ago you were like, I need to read that book. And I was like, just so you know, I don't know if you're going to be crazy about it.
You said that so many times, but I already bought it.
Yeah, you did already. I mean, you bothered to, because you could only get a hardcover shipped from the UK, and you had it now. And so it was like, well, I mean, I got it now. And now you've read it. Ta-da. So I'm glad that you liked it in the end. Generally, anyway.
I did. I liked it. I'm giving you a hard time. I did. I liked it for real.
But I think that, Gil Peck is a phenomenally executed Flawed protagonist. Like, he is...
You say phenomenal.
Yes?
You called him phenomenal.
I called him a phenomenally executed Flawed protagonist. So, Gil... because
Rachel said that with her chest. I'm sorry. Go ahead, Rachel.
I am so compelled by Gil Peck as a protagonist because he is not a good person. He is honestly kind of terrible, right? Like, he has kind of done a lot of manipulating in his work, and he kind of is quite cutthroat. And so the fact that Robert Peston managed to make him sympathetic anyway, where we are feeling for him in the loss of his sister, and we are watching him be deeply flawed but try to do better, and sometimes fail at doing better no matter how much he wants to. That was really well executed, because it's really, when you have a protagonist like Gil, when you have a protagonist that is frankly dislikable, like as a person, right? If you ever met Gil Peck, you would not like that man. So to have someone who is fundamentally unlikable and intentionally unlikable, he's got a bad coke habit, he, was really kind of crappy to his family, he manipulated his sister's connections, all of these things. And yet when you watch him try to understand what happened to his sister and watch him face the consequences of his past and the choices that he's made, and again, like, try to do better so that your heart actually feels for someone who otherwise you should not like, that is some good writing. Like, that is well crafted character, because it's easy to alienate a reader with an unlikable protagonist. So the fact that Robert Peston got me to lean in and be like, wait, I want to know what happens to him. I care about what happens to him. And again, to even be able to break your heart a little bit as you're watching someone try to do better than they've done, is like, oh, that's so good. Like, he's, I wouldn't marry him. I'd marry Knox. I wouldn't marry Gil Peck, but...
Oh my god!
But I think Gil Peck is a fantastic character. So again, I picked the Whistleblower overall, and so I just want to say too, I think that Peston created a really strong supporting cast as well, because the world that Gil inhabits, it's not just Gil that's a mean bad person. he inhabits a world of mean, bad people, of people who are constantly wheeling and dealing, and they're very distinct of like the role that they play and what he stands to gain or lose in his interactions with them, and how they are likewise manipulating Gil in the same ways that he's manipulating them. It's really, he really created a fantastic, basically like world in which Gil inhabits, and he's just the kind of person who can succeed in that kind of world. And when you meet the people, like the other people, you're like, oh man, like no wonder Gil is, you know, in some ways the way that he is, and this is the world he occupies. So if I had to pick one character, it'd be Gil, but I think that story has a great cast as well.
Yeah, that's also one of a great example of when you have a character like that, how you establish their world and how the world operates. It's so important if you want us to overlook the fact that we really shouldn't be rooting for him.
Yeah.
But given his circumstances and given what he does, and given, it's almost like you got, if you want to survive, you got to be a shark in that Shark Tank.
Yeah.
Right. You can't be just sweet and, you know, kind. And I mean, you want to have all the best qualities, but he had to be that way, and to then watch him learn how to, if you will, use it for good. Yeah. Right. To get a sense of closure, and all the while beginning to see the part that he plays, and then see the world that he was before just clearly operating in for what it really is. Yeah. So yeah, definitely.
Absolutely. So you had a sneaky honorable mention in there. Hit me with the honorable mention.
I want to talk about Lexi from Sin and Chocolate. I feel like her and her wards as the whole found family aspect as a unit. I think I love found family. It's one of my favorite tropes. It is just something I love. But I think what she did here that took a step further for me is we really got to see Mordecai and oh my goodness, tell me the sassy little girl and Mordecai and Daisy. Listen, those two, amazing. Everything about it, them parenting her and just feeling like you're a bad parent, and like she's like, but I'm the adult here. Yeah, sometimes, you know, like and Mordecai's just like almost like he's the more mature of everybody, and Daisy's like the way she manipulates things and the way that they just stick to each other and for each other. Like, I just love everything. So if you've ever wanted to see like a found family, and that aspect grows over the series, it is contagious over the series. So nice. That's why I felt like it's an honorable mention. But I feel like it just is, it just feels good. And what she's willing to do for them, they're equally willing to do for her. Even if it means that they miss out on something else that could be better. They don't care. Yeah. Right? You know, Mordecai be trying to put his little foot down. Yeah. Like there's the parent. But I just felt like it's such a great, and it's a great thing to see in the midst of the world and the circumstances that they find themselves. Yeah.
That almost makes them even more endearing, right? Because you're looking at, you know, whereas in Knock 'Em Out, you're looking at people who are, now Naomi is, you know, kind of, she's in trouble and she gets taken in, but you are looking at people who are scraping by on the edges of society and yet will do anything for each other and will risk everything. Like, you know, it when you add in those stakes of where they are positioned in the world and the situation that they are in, it makes that much more powerful when they are, you know, choosing one another still. When, you know, there are opportunities that, like you said, could be better, could be this, could be that, but it's like this, like, you are my family and I'm not leaving you behind. It makes it that much more powerful.
Yes.
It's a great honorable mention.
It is, and they're the best. So I can't, you know, I look forward to continuing with that series. But I think it's a great thing. I think it's a great thing to also see how she paired their oppositeness of their species. You know, Daisy being human, Lexi being gifted, Mordecai being a werewolf shifter, right? I mean, there's no reason why they should have even been in the same world. I mean, they're not even supposed to be in the same region or whatever they call it. Sectors or whatever. So the fact that they're just willing to go through what they need to go through for Mordecai to get his medicine, it's just, I just feel like, again, it's one of those things where when you look at that book, it's about endearing us to the characters. Really
that was
pulling us in and really just pulling us through. You're right. Whether they like him or not, because they're like, oh no, don't do it. I cannot wait till you read book 2. But yes, I think you're gonna absolutely love it.
I'm excited.
Love it.
Any other last comments? Any other honorable mentions you want to sneak on in there? Any other?
No, because I feel like then I would mention everything. I think what I will say is this. I think one of the really great things, especially if you're someone who struggles with character, is like giving yourself an opportunity to see like, what is it about this character that just won't leave you? That just sits with you, and you just, like force yourself to put words to it, and then start looking for those tethers that run through the story that allowed you to sort of grab onto it, because that'll start really giving you an understanding of the types of characters, worldviews, circumstances that really speaks to you. I love characters. I love characters. And so, watching them evolve and change, and the things that they have to go through, and the pushback and the things that they're willing to endure to have a better set of circumstances, it just makes it even better. And so, I would say, rather than being an honorable mention, I think all of the books that we had, I don't think anyone was lacking in that department at all. But I think it's a great opportunity to say, like, what is it? I know the type of main male characters I like. I know the type of female main characters I like. And those, like, things that give them that edge, but then get them grounded. And if it's going to jump off, it is going down. And I'm here for all of it. So, I think we just have some great picks. And I think 2026 is going to be even better.
Yeah.
What about you?
So excited. I honestly, I will say, in the contention for me, for characters, I will say the woman in the library was in there for me. Mm-hmm. I really had to I was really wrestling over my picks. Now, again, I didn't realize we had to pick individual characters, but as books go, I think the woman in the library also had a great cast, especially considering that, we were set up to like all of these characters and then have to confront that one of them is a murderer, right? I mean, that's just like, oh, that is good stuff. And so that one was one of my, I would say that one was like an honorable mention for me of great characters. And I think, this is, I almost, if you're new to the podcast, I would almost say these episodes are actually a really great place to start. Because it's like, if you are looking to study plots, we have some really strong plot recommendations in the previous episode. If you really want to dive into strong characters, these picks are going to give you some really great instances and great study in characters. So, and the nice thing is we're moving into the holidays when a lot of us are getting at least a little bit of time off from work, a couple of extra days off. And so it's a good opportunity to maybe pull out the books that you've read and give them another look. Read either, if you haven't finished reading Mistborn, because it's our January pick, so make sure you read it. But to pull some of those books back out, and I would almost encourage you to okay, if you've been through all of the books this year, what were your top 2 for plot? What were your top 2 for characters? And for that matter, put them in the comments and let us know, you've been through these books. what were some of your like top picks and honorable mentions for plots that compelled you and characters that compelled you. It's a really great exercise to reflect on the books that you've read and to really look at what are the books that moved me, what are the books that, you know, inspired me, what are the books that made me want to, you know, hone my craft and do even better or try something new in my writing. I would encourage anybody to kind of do that exercise, because not only is it fun and a little bit of a challenge, but it's a great way to really look back on what you've read this year and glean some more of those insights from it.
I agree. Here.
Awesome. All right. Well, we are at the 30-minute mark, so we will go ahead and wrap it here. Thank you, everybody, so much for joining us for the best of characters from 2025. So we will be back next week with one more episode for the year, where we will just do our season wrap, talk about a few final takeaways, look back on the year, and probably look ahead a little bit, because we can't seem to help ourselves every time we're like trying to look back. It's got us like, oh, I'm so excited about this thing coming up. So get excited for our last episode of the season. Get excited for 2026 and all of the amazing books we have coming down the pipeline for you. And don't forget to like, subscribe to the podcast, leave us a rating and review. We will see you back here next week. And until then, happy writing.